It's time to start something Saturday. Get your hooks and let's crochet. Hello, hello. Yes, that's right. Welcome to my creative castle. It's time for another Start Something Saturday. We haven't done one of those in a while. And if you are new to my channel, hi. My name's May. I love yarn. I love to knit and crochet. Those are my hobbies. And I also happen to have been born visually impaired, legally blind, completely colorblind. And I really mostly knit and crochet by feel, okay? So I am going to try to describe colors and things when I know it, but sometimes I do get confused. And today's video, Start Something Saturday, I just thought it's kind of like a peek right into my creative process, my inspiration, ideas, because I know some people get stuck. They get into like a slump. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen to me. It does, okay? And if you're new to my channel, you might not know, but I do use other people's patterns, but I also like to try to design my own. I do a lot of clothing, a lot of garments and things. But sometimes I get stuck, right, in my creative process. Sometimes, okay, we'll start something Saturday. Some of you are probably like, aren't you still in the middle of stuff? Why, yes, I am. Okay, I'm still in the middle of the Mal, the Make Along with Juan, the Yarn Addict. I am still got my cardi going on, but you know what? It has been in the 90s all week. And I don't mean like, a little bit of 90s. I mean like 98, 97, 99. Like way, way, way too hot for me to crochet a wool bulky weight cardi. I can't even think about it today, okay? So am I going to get back to it? Yes, but I'm behind. I'm really behind on the cardi, okay? Because, can't do it right now. It's much, much too hot. So I did my Labor Day video with you all, right? And I told you, I had insomnia. I got up at like 3 in the morning, cast on a project. And now I'm rethinking it. Okay, now I haven't taken it off the needles yet, right? But I'm not so sure it's what I had in mind or it's what I want now. So this, it's a sleeping whip right now. It is. The skirt that I worked on Monday has not been touched in a few days. It's a sleeping whip and it might get frogged. It's moving towards a frog it or finish it question mark, right? This might get frogged. It's a beautiful, beautiful yarn. You know, it's the Shine Sport by Knit Picks and Weave Crochet. You know, that's one of my absolute favorite yarns. Plus it's in the color Current, right? Which is a beautiful, beautiful dark red. So I really do want to make a skirt or a top or a dress or something beautiful out of it. But I'm just not sure it's the one for this project. So that has been in timeout. I have a top in timeout right now that I'm completely working on the fly, completely designing. Never even thought about doing something like that before. So I might yet get frogged. So, but I'm too hot to do. So those are kind of like in the back of my mind, still in design process mode. Might get frogged. So part of me is like, just do your cardi, because you're not designing the cardi, right? Like I'm designing the skirt myself. I'm designing the blue top, which is being worked up in the Cotton Nightfall, which is a dark, dark blue, right? So part of me is like, work on the cardi, because you don't have to think and you don't have to design. That's with the wool of the Andes Superwash Bulky and Hollyberry, but I just can't. I can't bring myself to do that right now. So where do I get my inspiration from? That's something I've been wanting to talk about on this channel for quite a while, right? Like, where do I get my inspiration from? And a number of places, a number of ways. One of the most obvious is just like touching my yarn, right? I mean, come on, just touching all the luscious, luscious yarn, surrounding myself with yarn, rolling around in yarn, right? I mean, that's where you get your inspo from. So as somebody who's visually impaired, If you don't know that yet, I'm not totally blind, but I am too blind to drive. And I live miles from even a bus stop. So I can't even just get on a bus and go to a store, go into like a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby or a Walmart and touch all the luscious yarn. That's not even an option for me. So I just have to like order in yarn. So you do see a lot of yarn unboxings on my channel. There's going to be a yarn unboxing tomorrow, which is the last of my purchases from the Knit Picks and We Crochet summer yarn sale. And that video was supposed to be today, but I got bumped to tomorrow. And today's video is the one that came out on Thursday of the Brava Baby. And then I got all excited about the Brava Baby, and I'm like, ooh, I'm getting so much inspiration. This yarn is definitely soft. It's softer than any of the other Bravas. I don't know what they did different to it, but it's definitely softer than any of the Bravas. And so one of the ways that I get my inspiration is just having a lot of different yarns in the house, right? I love different textures. I love different yarns. And so that's definitely one way that I get my inspiration. And so right now I'm holding up one of the Fable Furs, which is the number 6 super bulky polyester from Knit Picks and We Crochet. This is the Paloma, a really super nice pale polyester pink, right? That's Mrs. Bear. If you saw on Sunday, Mrs. Bear joined us. Yeah. And so, like, she's talking about her kids, y'all. She's like talking about her bear cubs, as in there's more bears, right? More bears. And she's like wanting her bear cubs on the channel. You know what that means, right? That means I gotta get out my needles and I have to knit more bears. Mr. Bear is completely clueless that he's knit. He just like knows there's bear cubs running around and he has no idea where they came from. I mean, you know, he just got a bunch of kids, but he's clueless about where they came from, right? And this is a family channel, so if you're wondering where little bear cubs come from, they come from yarn and needles, okay? That's where little bear cubs come from, okay? So, you know, Mrs. Bear's like, get to the stitching. So we do have some of the Paloma left over from Mrs. Bear. And we also have this other color. I think it's called, oh gosh, I can't remember what it's called. Mayan or something like that. Maya. Or it's something. It starts with an M. It's another pink, but it's a little bit of a darker pink. It's kind of a pinkish tan. It might really make cute little bear cubs for Mr. and Mrs. Bear because, you know, she's pink. He's kind of tan, so this might really look, you know, a lot like a mixture of Mr. and Mrs. Bear. So we could make some more bears. I mean, I do not want a big blanket or a big cardi or a big anything on my lap right now. But little bears, you know, I could do some little bears. So that's part of one of the things that I do is I just get in there and touch my yarn. I just touch my yarn. And I just think, ooh, what do I want to make with that? And so I'm like, well, I've still got my Astoria tonal. I still got some of that going on. And so part of me is still thinking about making a top to match my Astoria tonal skirt. Right? I'm like, do we want to do one more summer garment? Is that in us? Or are we done with summer? Because with the temperatures right now, you know, it feels like summer. And it does. So, but, you know, it would be like a tank top or like a tee or something. And even right now, I feel too hot for that. So I'm like, maybe socks. Maybe we're just stuck with socks right now. So, I didn't even bring like a traditional sock yarn up in here. I didn't. But I am thinking about, I got this Brava Baby here in the Brava Baby DK. And I'm still thinking, like, what do y'all think? You think that we should do some orange and black socks? That's kind of like really on my mind. orange and black striped socks. So probably would be designing those on my own. Don't totally fully understand the math yet for the heel on that, but you know, trying to work it out. So I'm definitely thinking about that. I'm thinking about pumpkins. You guys want to make pumpkin anything? Are you somebody that can do pumpkin anything in the fall? Because we could definitely do pumpkins. We could do pumpkins. We could do striped socks. We got the gray. I bought 3 colors. If you missed that video on Thursday, we did an unboxing of the Brava baby. So pumpkins, striped socks. I got 3 colors, black, orange, and gray. I am thinking like, you know, like spider webs and things like that with the gray, right? Like that's what's on my mind. I'm like, something like that. Or should we add the gray in with the black and the orange on something? I don't know. But I'm just playing with those colors right now. And like that's about the extent of what I could wear, right? Like what I could have on me right now would be something, you know, in terms of like on me, like a project, like socks I could probably do, right? But I'm just not feeling, I'm not feeling any garments bigger than tank tops right now. I'm feeling like I gotta do small stuff. I did get out some dishy. It's not even open yet, but I know these are my dishy cones. I'm like, do I just want to do like dishcloth? Got the black. I think this is black. I think it's black because it's either black or red or dark blue. But I'm like, maybe like dishcloth. I've got some of the Comfy Sport, which is a sport way. I love comfy worsted. And I love comfy fingering, so I'm like, do I want to make like a top out of Comfy Sports? This is the Holly Berry. I could make a top. I could do like a market bag. Or we could just do like, you know, dishcloths or something like that. Like it doesn't bother me to sit around in the summertime when it's too hot and just make like, you know, dishcloths or towels or something with my dish sheet, right? So those are little things. I don't know about you. I'd love to hear from you, right? Do you even knit and crochet in the summer when it's this hot? Because for me, I'm like, you know, I'm right on that edge, and I never thought I'd be that person that was too hot to touch my yarn. But I'm kind of feeling it, so I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts on what you knit and crochet in the summer when you're feeling like it's definitely too hot to have a blanket on your person. I don't know. So there's that going through my mind, and then I'm thinking like, excuse me, sorry about that. Part of me is like, maybe just crochet a doily, right? Like a little lightweight doily. So I got out my animation, which is just like it's like a little mercerized cotton from Knit Picks and Me Crochet. Trying to think what color this is. I don't know for sure. I think it's a dark green. I've got this in like red, brown, dark green, yellow. I'm like, what about a fall colored doily? Like, I know a lot of people look at yellow and they think that's a spring color, but I think you can put like a little bit of yellow in your autumn projects too, right? So what about that? You like to do doilies when it's really too hot to do much crocheting? Like just a lightweight kind of autumny doily maybe out of like the yellow and the green and the brown and the red. Would that be pretty? Or should we save that? Is it like not quite that season for any of y'all yet? I don't know. That's on my mind. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Or now I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not very good at amigurumi. Okay, I'm not. Like Baxter. Yeah, I made Baxter, and I'm not very good at it. You can see his big nose, right? Baxter's nose is too big. And I'm not good at amigurumi at all. At all. So a part of me is like, you know what? There's like so much else to knit and crochet. You know, why bother, right? Like, why even do it? But then I always tell people, like, you know what? Just practice. You'll get better at it, right? Practice is how we improve. Practice is how we get better. So part of me is like, so that's partially also why I want to do pumpkins. Besides that, pumpkins make good autumn decor, and pumpkins are good from, like, you know, late September, October, November. You can decorate with pumpkins all fall until, you know, through Thanksgiving. So, and pumpkins would be a good way for me to practice amigurumi, right? Because, you know, they're pumpkins, right? Pumpkins in nature aren't perfectly symmetrical and perfectly shaped. Pumpkins can be a little lumpy, right? So I'm like, pumpkins, and then I'm like, maybe I should do some fun Halloween plushies or something, right? So I'm touching my plushie yarn. So I got out my Honey Bunny, which is one of these polyester chenilles. This is black from Hobby over in Denmark. I got that. I'm like, we could do something, some kind of big plushie. But then I'm like, ooh, I bought some sparkly parfait. I think we should open this, y'all. We have an unopened package of parfait chunky glitz from Premier. Yeah. And it might really help me get inspired if I open the package and touch it. You hear me on my channel talk a lot about how, you know what, I like to leave it in the plastic to keep it clean. But I can really, as somebody who's visually impaired, get way more inspired if I touch it, right? If I touch it. So we want to touch it, the yarn. So let's do it, you guys. Let's open it. Let's compare the two, okay? So we did it. We opened the package. This is the Parfait Glitz in the black. We're going to hold it up to the Honey Bunny from Hobby in the black. What do you think? I think they're pretty comparable except for the glitz. I think they feel about the same size. They're both supposed to be like a polyester chenille. What do you think about that? Like, to me, I think except for the glitz, they're pretty similar. So I'm looking at those and I'm like, do we want to do, like, I'm not real good at amigurumi, but these polyester yarns are good for amigurumi, right? So we could practice on like some little Halloween type amigurumis, like a little bat, right? Or like spooky spider, right? For Halloween, spooky spider might want to come out. Spooky spider might want to move inside with y'all in the fall. I mean, does that happen at your house? Happens at my house. Spooky spider comes in the fall. Yeah. So, you know what? We might need a sparkly spooky spider, or maybe just a plain one, or a big stuffy plushy bat. I don't know, but I've definitely had to get out my polyester chenille and start getting myself inspired for some fall projects, because I'm not really feeling, it doesn't feel like fall yet. And I definitely don't feel like making a sweater or a blanket right now. So I need to make little things. I don't even want to touch my garments right now. I've got 3 garments, the sweater, the skirt, the top in process, right? And I'm like, it's too hot to have that on me right now. It's too hot, right? So I just really need little things, and I'm trying to get myself excited and inspired for fall projects. So I don't know about y'all, but I'd love to hear from you. Are you knitting and crocheting right now? Is it too hot where you're at? What's your weather like? How's your weekend going? Are you crafting, or are you too hot to craft? And if you are you getting, like, what is on your needles? What's on your hooks? What's getting you inspired? And how do you get inspired? Because obviously for me, it's yarn, right? Touching my yarn. I know I got lots and lots of yarn in the house. And I'm sure some of you are judging me out. I'm sure Judgy McJudge is sitting out there in the audience judging me for all my boxes of yarn. I'm like, you're never going to use all that yarn. Well, you're probably right. I'm never going to use all that yarn. But I can't go to the store and touch all the yarn. And so I have to bring the yarn to me. And, touch it and get inspired. And it really helps me. I have a whole room full of yarn. I have the yarn room, okay? And I call it Yarn Mountain. It's my stash. It's way over my head. It's probably like, I don't know, like 6.5, 7 feet up. I have to use a stool sometimes to get all up there. So it's an ordeal, but I'm up there regularly touching my yarn, getting the big boxes from way over my head down, because that's how I get inspired. I just need to go through my boxes. I need to touch my yarn. I need to feel it. And as I often say, let that yarn tell you what it wants to be, right? Like this polyester yarn in black is like a bug or a spider, spooky spider, right? Like I touch that animation, that cotton, and I'm like, doilies. And I touch the you know, the comfy sport, and I'm like, ooh, that might make like a nice washcloth. Comfy is so soft, because you know, I mean, that's kind of how I do it. I like touch my yarn. I just get in here and touch it, and I'm like, what would that feel nice as? That would feel like a nice washcloth. Or, you know, I feel like that would feel like a blanket. Like I'd like to wrap myself up in that yarn. That feels like a blanket. That feels like that would make a nice, huggable, squishable plushie. So my yarn is a big part of my inspiration, and it's a big part of my creative process. Is like I said, just touch that yarn and touch it and let it tell you what it wants to be, right? Like just touch it and be like, what would that feel like, right? What would that feel the best as? Would it feel good as a washcloth? Would it feel good as a huggable? Would it feel good as a tank top? Would it feel good as a blanket? You know, I mean, that's kind of where I go. So I do spend a lot of time touching my yarn. I do. I'm not going to lie. I just spend time touching my yarn and being like, what does that want to be, right? So I'd love to hear from you all about how you get inspired. What's your creative process? What gets you creating, right? Like, what do you do when you get into those moments where none of the projects that are on your needles and your hooks are working for you? Because right now, yeah, the stuff on my needles and hooks is not working for me. Can't do the cardi. The skirt and the top are both sleeping whips. They're officially sleeping whips. They are napping. It's not hibernating in the summer, but there's another term for animals that sleep in the summer. I can't even think of what it is. Maybe it is hibernating. I don't know. I know bears hibernate in the winter, but there's got to be a term for like sleeping in the summer when you're too hot, right? I can't think of if it's hibernating or something else. But that's what's happening to that skirt. That's what's happening to that blue top, right? They're in timeout. Yeah. So can't deal with them right now. So I have to just keep touching my yarn and thinking about what else I want to make while I think about those projects. So I just thought I'd make a whole video and kind of talk through with you, you know, part of my inspiration, part of the creative process. We'll make other videos talking about the creative process, where I get ideas from, you know, that kind of a thing. So anyways, I really hope that you're all doing well. I hope you're having a great weekend up here in September now. Let me know how it's going for you. If you got kids, are you getting them like back into their little routine? Are they getting back into like school? Is it still hot where you're at? Yeah, I don't know. So anyways, I just want to, I think we're going to end this video now, because, you know, we've talked plenty about touching yarn, but I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you who stops by, right, and takes your time to watch my videos. You come back again and again. You hang out with me. You spend some of your time with me. That means a lot to me. It really does. That's a privilege to me. So I want to keep my videos interesting, right? I want to help you stay inspired. I want to help you get excited about yarn, right? Which is part of what this video is about. It's about, you know, my process and me wanting to hear about your process. How do you get inspired? So I want to thank you though for coming by and, choosing to subscribe. If you're a subscriber, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, all of my viewers. When you choose to come back and you choose to view, that means a lot to me. So, okay, you know what we're going to end this video with, right? Creativity is for everybody, whether you see or you see like me, which is not in color and not in the daytime, or you don't see at all. Creativity is for you. And whether it's knitting or crocheting or sewing or quilting or beading or painting or sculpting or weaving or whatever it is that you do, today is a great day to craft and create. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, happy stitching. Bye-bye for now.